Welcome to Trigonometric graphs. So again, what we're going to be doing is working with looking at a graph and creating the sine function and cosine function. So let's begin with our vertical shift. Now, if you notice this one, it's not quite equally balanced over the x-axis. So what we're going to have to do is find the midline for the vertical shift. So what we have to do is take our maximum and add to it our minimum, which is -2, 4 plus -2, and divide that by 2. So 4 plus -2 is 2, divided by 2 then is 1. So this means our vertical shift is 1. That means D is 1. So that means across the line y equals 1 is a horizontal line. I'm going to kind of draw it with a dashed line. You can see that that graph is now shifted upwards. Next, our horizontal shift. Our horizontal shift is our C value, not C over B, just the C value. And we have to notice that the sine graph, again, we're looking now at that midline. Where does it start? It starts here at -pi/4 and 1. So we're primarily looking at the x coordinate. Where does our sine function end? It ends over here at 3pi/4 and 1. So that's the time it takes to complete one cycle. So our horizontal shift is we're going to shift left pi/4 units. That means C is going to equal -pi/4. Next, our amplitude. Remember from before, our amplitude is going to be our maximum minus our minimum, -2, divided by 2. So 4, then we change it to a plus. 4 plus 2 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. So that means our amplitude is 3. And we can kind of see that on our graph. So you can kind of see from this midline here, remember that's our midline. Of y equals 0. And you can see that it reaches a maximum, goes 3 up from that point and 3 down from that midline. Next, our period. Our period is a little bit more interesting this time. Remember, again, it's the time it takes to complete one cycle. So it's the distance from -pi/4 to 3pi/4. So to find that distance, we're going to take 3pi/4 minus a -pi/4. So minus a negative is going to be a positive. So that's going to be 4pi/4, or a length of pi. So to find out what B is, we're going to have to take 2 pi and divide that by that period of pi. So that's going to give us our B unit is going to be 2. So this means B is going to be 2. So now our equation. Remember our general or our factored form of our equation is y equals A sine of B times x minus C plus D. So we're going to write y equals A, in this case is 3, sine of B, B in this case is 2, and then x minus a -pi/4 means a plus pi/4, and then we have the D is 1, so we're going to write plus 1 at the end. So that's the equation of our sine function. Next, our cosine function. That one always goes a little faster after we've done the sine function. So our vertical shift is still going to be D equals 1 for our cosine function. Our horizontal shift, remember with our cosine function, we have to look, it starts at the top of the curve. So this one does not have a vertical shift since it's going to start at 0 and 4. So it's starting at 0, so there is going to be no horizontal shift. So this means C equals 0. There's no horizontal shift. Next, the amplitude A is still 3, and the period here is still 2. So again, once you've done one, the other one comes quite quickly. So let's see. To write our equation, we're going to be writing a y equals 3 cosine of 2x. And then remember, it's going to be plus 1. And you probably should put parentheses around the 2x to distinguish that plus 1 is outside of the parentheses. Let's go ahead and double check this in Desmos. So let me slide this over a little bit so you can kind of still see it. And then let me go ahead and move Desmos over a little bit so you can see them both at the same time, hopefully. And type in y equals 3 sine of 2 times x plus pi divided by 4, close parentheses, and then we're going to go plus 1. And as you can see here, the graph is being shifted up 1. Click on the points at 0, 4 was one of our points at, and you're like, okay, that these are our x-axis, and we want our other ones through our midline. So I'm going to go over here and type in y equals 1 to find our midline. And then we can see, hey, that it is pi over 4 and 1. It's at negative pi over 4 and 1. It's at 3 pi over 4 and 1. And again up here. So let's double check our cosine function. Y equals 3 cosine of 2x and then plus 1. And they line up, so we have the correct sine and cosine functions.